C. You are asked to find the root of the equation. So the root of the equation of this curve is the point where y equals to 0. So at the point where y equals to 0. So we are going to check where the y equals to 0. So where is y equals to 0? Y equals to 0 at this point. Okay? Then you trace it. Trace it to the curve. This point and this point. So the root of the equation is at, from my graph here, minus 1.2 and 1.7. So I'm going to write it here by saying it is at x equals to minus 2, x equals to minus 1.2 and 1.7. So write C1. Recall that the root of the equation is when y is equals to 0. So you locate where y equals to 0 and then trace it to meet the curve like I explained before. So when y equals to 0, then the root of the equation is at x equals to minus 1.2 and x equals to 1.7. Now C2. Use the graph to find the minimum value of y. Okay, use the graph to find the minimum value of y. So we are going to determine the minimum value of y. So at what value is this curve minimum? At what value is the curve minimum? So we are going to check the curve. You'll see that the curve is at minimum when the value of y equals to what? Equals to minus 4. So you are going to trace it like this. Okay? The curve is at minimum when the value of y equals to minus 4. So we say the minimum value of y is at y equals to minus 4. So, if you are still confused, suppose you have a curve like this. So, the minimum value of that curve is the point, is this point. So, you just trace this point to y axis. Whatever value you have there is the minimum value of y. Okay? Whatever value you have here is the minimum value of y. So suppose, for example, if I have minus 2 here, then the minimum value of y is minus 2. Now, just in case, let's say we are asked to find the maximum value of y. If you are asked to find the maximum value of y, then your curve will be like this. Alright? So, and let's say here is minus 10. It's plus 10. Then the maximum value of y is 10. So the minimum value here, you ask for minimum value of y. But here, if your curve is like this, they will ask for maximum value of y. So the maximum value of y is 10 because the curve is at maximum at 10. The minimum value of y is minus 4 because the curve is at minimum at what? At the point where the value of y equals to minus 4. Now, C3, which is the last for today. The range of value of x for which 2x squared minus x minus 4 is greater than 0. Now, what is the range of value of x for which the y, let's write it out, for which 2x squared minus x minus 4 is greater than 0. If you agree with me that this 2x squared minus x minus 4 is the same thing as y greater than 0. So they are simply looking for what is the value when the value of y is greater than 0. So here you are at liberty to pick any point where y is greater than 0. So when y is greater than 0, okay, this graph is at 0 here. So anything above this point, the value of y is greater than 0. So you can pick any value. Let's say you pick here at 2. Then you trace it. Trace it to the curve at the left hand side and also at the right hand side. When you trace it to the curve, then trace it to x. Then trace it to x. So here you have minus 1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. So minus 1.4 and 2.0. So the range, you say the range is at minus 1.4 and x equals to 2. Okay, so you can write it in inequality form by saying x is greater than minus 1.4 minus, yes, and then less than what? Less than 2. X is greater than minus 1.4 and then x is less than or equals to. Alright, viewers, so this is where we draw the curtain for today's lesson. Do well to share, like, and comment, and put it in the comment section if there's any area that you want us to tackle in our next lecture. Thank you.